All right, and we're back for the third section.
Is this me still?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. I thought this was you. Okay, so assessment, and this actually ties back to one of the very first points up here from Salah. How do we accommodate for final exams when ADC is closed? Well, actually, accessibility services is closed, so we are not hosting any exams, and that's where, as a faculty member, you are responsible for accommodating your students with final exam, with any exam. So accessibility is not hosting exams, and this includes exams for the courses with on-campus components. Faculty are responsible for keeping track of the students in their courses who require exam accommodations and applying those accommodations to quizzes, tests, midterms, and final exams. Faculty provide extra time for students without accommodations, and you can adjust the time settings on Blackboard. And if you need help with that, you can contact ADC. They have brilliant videos on how to do that very clearly. And next slide. Oh, thanks for the email for the sandbox there, Andrea. So universal design for assessment. You can do alternative assessment. So consider, do students have to do a final exam, or could they do a paper or a presentation instead? Allow all students extra time to complete the exam. For example, giving all students double time, which is the maximum amount of time that we are allowed to provide as an accommodation. So if you do that, as Alicia said earlier, additional time would not be given to students who have that same amount of extra time as an accommodation. If you decide to use universal design and give all of your students time and a half, then you would have to give the students with double time their double time. Okay, so consider that. Like, what's the amount of time that you would normally answer this question in, and then use that as your format to create the double time for the other students. And you could provide choice. Maybe you could tell students, do you want to do a test or a paper? Maybe you could have the students choose 3 out of the 4 questions on the exam to answer, and that's using universal design. You could also use multiple forms of questions. So for example, you could use multiple choice questions, short answer questions, matching items, or essays. And next slide, please. So one final note, contact us. We are here to support faculty as well as students. And there's a little image of an envelope with one of those @ signs for emails. So let's open this up again for questions. Thank you. Next slide. I forgot that part. So we could turn off the recording and see, are there any other questions or comments that any of you have today, or things that burning questions that we didn't answer?